All right, so we are Team RestPoint. First, we're going to start with the agenda. First, we're going to talk about ourselves in detail, a little more detail. Then we're going to talk about what the app actually does. We're going to talk about who we made the app for, what the minimum viable product is. We're going to demo the app. We're going to talk about how we made it, what we would have done had we had more time, the things we learned, and we'll thank some people who made all of this happen, and then we'll field questions. Okay, so first, my name is Marcos Castillo. I was in the Army for 8 years as an Indonesian cryptologic linguist.
All right, my name is Ethan Whaley. I was in the Navy, serving in submarines as a nuclear electronics technician.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Justin Merrill. I was in the U.S. Army for 8 years, and I was an intelligence analyst.
Hello, my name is Dan. I was in the U.S. Army for 4 years, and I was in the infantry. What does RestPoint do? Simply put, RestPoint allows you to go your own way. RestPoint finds users clean, free-to-use restrooms near them in Chicago. Users are also able to rate and review their experiences for future RestPoint users. Additionally, RestPoint also allows users with special considerations such as physical disabilities, parents with young children, or members of the LGBTQ community to find facilities that fit their needs. I'll pass it on to Justin to talk about our users.
All right, thank you, Dan. For our first persona, we got Gypsy. Gypsy's 23. She's an Uber driver. She often finds herself in new places as an Uber driver. So RestPoint helps her to find a new place to go in that location. Next, we got Rhiannon. Rhiannon's 34. She's a mother of 3. Her kids always have to go, and they always have to go at the same time. RestPoint lets her to find a family facility that fits her needs. Next, we got Mick. Mick is a retired guy. He's got an overactive bladder. RestPoint finds him a location as quickly as possible. Next, we got Stevie. Stevie's 32. Software developer. I made a mistake here because Stevie identifies as non-binary. So Stevie uses RestPoint to find a location that suits their needs. Next, we got Ethan talking about the minimum viable product.
All right, so now that we know who we're designing this product for, now I want to talk about what the bare minimum would be that would meet the need that we're trying to address. So when our users open up the product, they should see a map. On that map will be a pin indicating where they are, as well as pins to indicate where clean, free to use restrooms are near to them. When they click on a location, they should see details such as the address, ratings, reviews, as well as information about the attributes of it that might be important to them. Again, going back to the example of maybe a changing table, a family restroom where somebody can bring in multiple of their children to help them ensure that the location is the right location for them. And being in Chicago, we wanted to focus on a Chicago theme, so we use the 4 Chicago stars as our rating system, and we wanted them to be able to leave a text review so that they can describe why they rated it, so that helps to make sure that they correlate well, so you can see if there's a whole lot of 1-star reviews with no reason why, it becomes very obvious. So now we're going to demo.
Thank you, Ethan. Okay, so here's our app. Let's take a look. This is RestPoint. When the user opens our application, they're going to be presented with a map that's going to display their current location and rest points for clean, free-to-use restrooms around Chicago. We created our map using the Mapbox.gl API. The Mapbox.gl API allows users to be able to explore our map freely. They can scroll around. They can even adjust the point of view in 3D, which is really cool. Also, using it with React allowed us to deliver a beautiful, responsive app to our user that they can use on any device. Additionally, it lets you change the look of the application. With our map, we went with this one because it has a familiar color palette, and it shows the user everything they need to see nice and neatly. It's very easy to read. So from here, we're going to take a look at our app from the perspective of a user on a mobile phone. It actually looks better in mobile. So let's say I go downtown, I'm with my 5-year-old daughter, and now we have an emergency. I fire up the app, and I take a look at the points around me. All these places, there's one place in here that looks a little bit familiar to me, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it. All right, so this is the McDonald's right over there on Clark Street. All of the photos are actually provided by Google Street View Static API, so each place actually has one. So let's look at the rating. It's only a 2-star, which isn't too good. However, it does have a family bathroom, which would really help me out right now. So I want to take a look at the reviews and see just why we got this 2-star. Okay, we take a look. Looking at it, it looks like there might be a wait. So in my current situation, this is not the place to go. So I'm gonna back out. I'm gonna find another place. Open it up, take a look around, see what's nearby. And we're gonna click here. Okay, so here we are, Starbucks at Clark and Madison. It looks good. We have a 4-star rating, and we also have a family bathroom, which is exactly what I need. So I'm pretty sure this is the spot. Okay, so after a smooth transaction, I decided that I want to leave a review for future users. So I decided I'm actually going to wait till I get home and get to my desktop to do so. So I find the Starbucks, Clark and Madison, open that up, go to the page, go to the add review, click on that. There you go. Okay, and so you can see our rating. It looks really simple, but we put a lot of work into this to make sure that the stars would actually go. So I found my restroom quickly. The place was clean. I gave it 4 stars. And I want to let the next user know that it was clean too. Next, I'm going to leave this box checked because the description of the location was accurate, and I'm going to submit my review. So to summarize, RestPoint helped me find the facility to fit my needs in an emergency, and allowed me to leave a review so I can help other people in the future. Okay, so next we're going to talk about technologies used, and that will be handled by Justin.
Thank you. For programming languages, it's relatively simple: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Python. In the back end, we use a Django framework. In the front end, it's React. As far as database technologies, we use Postgres. To deploy it to the internet, we use Heroku. And for version control, we use Git and GitHub. As far as APIs, we use the Google Fonts API, Google Street View API, and the Mapbox API. Ethan, could you get stretch goals?
Okay, so now that we've established what built our app, we realized that we didn't actually get everything that we could have possibly wanted. We had a few more things that we would have wanted to add, and if we were continuing to develop this, that we would add, specifically filtering bathrooms based on needs and locations. We want to be able to select what our needs were and have the map auto-populate and remove restrooms that didn't meet what our needs were at the point. We wanted to be able to have the user get directions to where they're going. As we expand our app, all of our reviews currently show on each page, but we can imagine a scenario where we get hundreds or even thousands of reviews. Trying to load that much information to the browser could make the user's device slow or not responsive, so we want to implement some kind of pagination or infinite scrolling, as well as having the ability for a user to submit new points for us to do to be able to expand our database of locations. So now that we're done, looking back, we can recognize areas that we can improve. So I'm going to start talking about implementing version control. Early on in our project, we had a couple of flub-ups where members of our team committed code directly to our master branch, and then people got conflicting code that was later committed. So to address this, we established a very clear pattern where we would create a branch for whatever feature we were working on, commit our code to that branch, and then have another member of the team review the code before we committed it and merged it to master to make sure that there weren't any conflicts. So I'll pass up Justin to talk about troubleshooting CSS.
So CSS is never friendly. You'll spend hours working on something, and what I learned is just to ask for help if I'm having problems with CSS. There's usually somebody that just fresh on their mind will fix it in like 5 minutes, and you're just floored that somebody got it fixed that quick, but that's how it goes. But Dan will talk about working with remote teammates.
Well, a couple times during the project, we found ourselves working remotely and with each other, and we found best ways to work remotely with each other by having frequent check-ins to make sure we were on the same page, video, and open communication throughout. That's how we learn how to work better with remote students. I'm going to pass it to Marcos to talk about the importance of planning.
Thank you. We definitely fully realize the importance of planning before you write any code. We definitely did some planning. We got a lot of help from Caroline and from Charles at A-Flight. They really helped us prepare. I think on our own, we should have probably done it extra half hour, an extra hour. And we might have been able to more efficiently do things like divide up labor, prioritize things that we wanted to implement, and also to be able to better anticipate pain points.
All right. Now that we've presented our product to you, we want to give thanks to everybody who made it possible for us to get here. Code Platoon, obviously, we wouldn't be here without this organization. We also want to thank all the other companies that have provided us with help throughout the process and through this course: DRW, ThoughtWorks, Road Home Program, 8Flight, CTC, AbleXI, HashRocket, Granger, and Narrative Science. Also thanks to all of the individuals who work hard to keep Code Platoon running on a daily basis: Rod Levy, Alicia Body, John Young, Tom Freed, Mike Lee, all of our TAs, mentors, volunteers, the alumni, and final shout out to Greg Detunjian. He actually came over a weekend and spent the entire weekend with us teaching us Agile, and we were super grateful for that. And finally, thank you to Chase Bank for hosting us for today's graduation. We now open it up for any questions.
Were you guys able to implement any of your Agile training in your team project?
Yeah, absolutely. We would do stand up every morning. We kept basically a Kanban. We would make it through Trello. We had a retro at the end. And it sounds all really simple, but like we definitely saw the value of using it, and we could definitely get better at it, and we will. But it was a great foundation to draw on to help us organize how we did.
All right, so
I turned it off. I'm sorry.
okay, so we started off. Since this is more of a tech demo than an actual release product, we found a couple of businesses, specifically Starbucks and McDonald's, that we know have open bathroom policies, and we use those as our initial seed data. Were we to be moving this to production, we would do more research and find other companies like public libraries, and also rely on crowdsourcing and user submission of data to expand.
So when you guys were working, this is a 9-part question. No, just both sides of the coin here. So what was something that ended up being way harder than you thought it was going to be while you were doing this? And what was something that maybe you were dreading and it just fell into place? And you're like, oh, okay, cool.
So working. CSS was definitely the hardest part. I think I went that over before. So on our page, you got those 4 stars, and they're centered on the page. We used this off-the-shelf code to get that star rating system, and I couldn't get it to center on the page. I was spending about 2 to 3 hours on it before we got one of the designers at A-Flight, and he just like, oh, let me take a look at it. And it took about like 3 minutes, and I was just like, how'd you do that? And I still think it's black magic or something like that.
I actually have a picture of Ethan's screen whenever he started working with this, and it was like, I think it started off as 5 stars, and it turned into an entire wall of stars, and we just wanted to get down to 4.
One more question.
So that's one.
I was just saying, what was something that was easier than you thought it was going to be while you were working?
Working with it. Sorry. Working with the database, honestly, working with the data that we had, I thought that was going to be way more complicated, pulling stuff out of the database, and with his help, and it just ended up being really easy to show it on the page. Anyone got anything else?
I think that's what it.
Can I get one more question?
That was pretty easy.
So did you try to define a QA concept?
we basically, once we realized how we were going to be doing version control, part of that was with our deployment that we set up Heroku so we could, when we were working on getting ready to merge in a branch, we would deploy that branch to Heroku and then have all the other members of the team view it. So it was more functional testing than it was an actual like automated testing or unit tests. But we did have everybody try and view it and break it and see, make sure that it was the actual product that we were trying to ready for release. All right, thank you.